All right, so here it is, the fire. What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna make a video over making a rocket stove. So I've seen multiple people do it with just like these two cans or these two cans. But what I'm gonna try to do is, I had an idea. Well, I guess it wasn't really my idea, but you know, I was scrolling through YouTube and I seen this guy use like really tiny rocks. I had an idea to use sand because I'm thinking that the sand is going to help hold heat and it might not burn through this tin as easy because this tin is super thin. So I figure, you know, if your fire gets very hot, then it's for sure going to burn through it. So what I've got, like I said, I've got this big tin right here. I've got, this is just like, I think sweet potatoes or something, and then just like a can of soup. This one's actually, for some reason, feels a lot thicker. I don't know, they all feel pretty thick, but I feel like this one feels a little bit thicker than these two. This one's kind of thin. So that's what I'm thinking. The sand is for sure going to help with this one, in theory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make it with as little tools as possible. You know, just in case, you know, somebody doesn't have, you know, crazy tools or something. You know, I don't have crazy tools or anything, but you know, I'm just going to try and make it as easy as I can. So I'm going to try and make these holes with this awl. If that doesn't work, I'll grab like a screwdriver or something. So I want to see how it works. So first off, what I've done is I took this can right here, all right, and you can see I've already traced a circle in this. So I'm going to make a couple holes around it, and I brought these just in case. I'll probably need them. Just a pair of snips, regular pair of pliers, and might end up grabbing a pair of those, you know, to help bend the tin over. But you know, I'll just see how it goes. I've made one of these before, but it's been a long time, so you know, it worked. But this one's a little bit different than that one, so we're just going to see how it goes. So like I said, first off, I'm just going to use this awl. Now it's a Swiss Army knife awl, Swiss Army knife I'm using, so it should be pretty easy in theory. So I'm going to do that real quick and just see how it does. Alright, so yeah, it's already through it, so I'm just going to use it and try and go all the way around it, and then this awl probably will get all the way through it. Alrighty, so I've got it cut out, and I'll probably end up cutting those out a little bit more because you can see. So there's my line, but I left them, one, because it was just kind of difficult getting the snips in that, you know, small of a circle, especially on a round can like this. So I cut like really small. I could probably make them smaller, but anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them over, and that's going to help keep the can that goes into it seated. Hopefully that works. If not, I'll just work harder and try and cut them around. I'm just trying to make it kind of, you know, to where it'll sit in there nice instead of be kind of floppy. The sand's going to hold it in anyways, but I'd still like for it to sit in there, you know, pretty tight. So like I said, I'm just going to try to bend these over. You probably should wear gloves. I should probably be wearing gloves, but I'm just going to take these snips. That way I'm not getting my hand in there. That probably sounded nice. Alright, I'm going to make this a little bit more Alright, so let's throw this can in it and see what it does. definitely think that's going to work. So I'll just get this a little bit wider around, and then I'm going to start this can right here. Alright, so there's that. And then I've done the same thing. So I've made this one a little bit higher up on the can as opposed to this one. So that way it sits about like this. So that way I can use the top of this can, and you can use smaller, you know, like your camping cook set stuff, or you can use a pan. So whatever, it's not really, you know, I can always make this one smaller if I got to, but that's the way I was doing this. So I'll see how it turns out. Alright guys, so in order to get this to fit, what I've done is I've taken my snips and I've went just a little bit past my marks that I had made for it, and then bent them over just a little bit more. Well, that one bent the wrong way, but just right outside of your line that you make, just to make it a little bit bigger. Like I said, with this one, the sand is going to pretty well keep everything sitting nice, but the way that this can fits in, it's fitting super tight. Well, we can get it back in. So it's fitting super tight. Alright, so you can see, I mean, it ain't really, it's not going anywhere, so it's pretty good. So like I said, I just went a little bit past the line that I had drawn for this can, so just to give it a little bit extra wiggle room, I guess. But let's get this can put in there, and we'll start filling it with sand. Alright, so I forgot to take the bottom of this can off, so I'm going to use my Swiss Army knife can opener. Alright, and so with this can that goes, you know, kind of as the chimney, I'm going to make it even just a hair bigger than I did the other one, so that way it's easier to fit into the can whenever I go to do it, because it's going to be a little bit harder to get everything lined up when everything's in the can. So just make a couple more of these little marks. That way the can fits in a little bit better. Alright. Alright, so I've got this on here, and just like the last, this one, it's fitting pretty tight. So I think we're good. It's not quite as tight as the big can, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to get everything apart, and then I'll throw it back together, and I'll show you in the next part. Sand was just getting in the way. So it's actually sitting, this middle can is actually sitting on the bottom a lot more than I thought it was going to, but here's that, and then you can see it's got all that room around it for that sand. So I'm going to get that full of sand. I'm going to hang you guys back up over here on this makeshift tripod I've got, and Shane's filling it full of sand. You know, there's really nothing much to it. I'm going to pull this can out a little bit more so that way this middle piece has got more of a you know, chimney, I guess. But yeah, there's that. And like I said, I'll show you filling it full of sand. Alright, so there it is. Like I said, I pulled that bottom can out just a hair. And then we'll just fill it. Alright, so there it is. And I'm going to show you building a fire in it. Alright, so next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lid that was on top of this one, and I'm going to make like a little, there's a little X kind of come up to where I can put a pan on top of it, and hopefully that works out pretty good. In theory, in my mind, it's going to work out pretty good, so I'm just going to kind of draw it out. Do like, maybe I'll cut it in half and then make it about this wide. Alright, and then I'll have come in about like this, so that way they'll lock in together. And I'll show you that here in just a second after I get that cut out, because you guys probably don't want to see that. Alright guys, so the sand, I still think it's a good idea. So I've got sand back here, but once I got to moving it, which I feel like is probably pretty obvious, these holes started leaking sand. So if you was to have this sitting somewhere and you didn't move it, I think it would be fine. But if you want to move this any at all, which you probably are going to want to, I grabbed some little rocks. So it's still not going to keep the sand out completely, but it's going to kind of slow it down. I think it about have to. So I dumped all the sand back out of it, put some sand in the back about halfway, and then, like I said, put the rocks there. Now I'm going to cover it in sand. The thing about these rocks, though, is you're going to want to watch that if you do use rocks, that they're not wet, because rocks will explode on you. But I'm hoping, one, these wasn't wet rocks, and two, the sand, I'm thinking if I fill it full of sand again, covering those rocks, if one does happen to explode, I hope that doesn't, you know, it's probably not going to do anything. So you're going to put some more sand back in here. I'm going to cut some little spots on here, because I've got my little, I don't know, pan holders here. So I cut both of them, but like I said, I'm going to cut just cut down a little bit on each side, so that way it'll hold them. And I'll show you after that. Alright guys, so here it is. All you got to do is throw some sticks down in here, and I've got some sticks thrown right there. So the good thing about this is you don't need a whole lot of, you know, big sticks. All you need is just real tiny sticks and twigs, and then you know, once you get some coals burning in there, it's going to go, you know, get real hot. So let's I'm going to start the fire in here. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'm going to get back with you and show you how it works. All right, so here it is. The fire is getting started. So all I had is just like a little wax thing, started it up, threw it in, and like I said, the sticks don't need to be big at all. I've just got, like I said, little twigs, and it's starting right up. So to begin with, I threw some at the bottom and I pushed them through, but I've also got them stuck out the top. Once they burn down, it's going to be fine. You can stick your pot on there, whatever. If you make them small enough, you can stick your pot on there right now and make use of, you know, the big flames if you had to. But there's already, you know, quite a bit of heat coming off of it. I'm not very far away from it, but you know, fire's heat, so you can see it's burning really good. It's sucking in the wind. I don't know if you can hear it. No, you can't really hear it, but yeah, it's doing really good. You can see in there. Now you can start to hear it.